All right. In this video, I want to talk about a player reaching their ceiling early on. Every single person reaches the peak of their athletic ability, their skill ability, certain times during their life. There are some that reach the pinnacle of their athletic ability, their skill ability in high school. That's exactly why if you go to the McDonald's High School All American player list, go to this list and look at how many all star high school players we're talking about. Look at this list out of all the high school players in the country. Look at this small list. Now, how many of these people have you ever heard of? How many of these people are doing big things in college? I mean, you go down the list, and without a doubt, you will find there are more, way more high school All American players that don't do a thing in college. Why is that? Because these are the kind of players that peaked in high school. It's just the way it is. Some people just peak earlier than others. I'll put it to you like this. Let's say you ever seen a kid grow a mustache or a beard when he was really young? That kid he just developed his body developed quicker. It just happens. Or that female, the female who gets that body when she's really young, her body developed faster than other girls. That just happens for some people. Some people just develop sooner than others. So in basketball, you can reach a ceiling in high school, you could reach it in college, or you could reach it in the NBA. So it's all different. You can't determine that. It just is the way it is. It's just the luck of the draw for you. So you look at like a Zion Williamson. Now, this is an example of you look at him, you looked at what he did in high school, you looked at him, you said, wow, explosive athlete, amazing athlete. All he has to do is eat better, train harder, develop a little jump shot, and he's going to be something in college. Goes to college, same thing. You looked at him, explosive athlete in college, definitely could explode in the NBA, but he needs to eat better, train harder, and NBA teams believe they can do that. So you see the potential. You see Zion has not reached his ceiling because he's never ate the way he should eat. He's never trained the way he should train. And even with that said, he can still jump out of the gym. He's still so explosive. So you look at him and you can project, man, we just do this and this and this. He's going to be a superstar, right? So he's a good example of something. So this is all about, Io Desumu. You look at Io, and when you look at him, it looks like a player that's reached his peak athletically and physically. I mean, he's done. You don't look at him and think physically he's going to be better or his skills are going to be much better. He pretty much looks like a player that's already at his peak level. So, you know, but you go through this list of high school All Americans, and some of these people you have heard of who have gone on to do good things, but the majority don't even do good in college, let alone make it to the NBA. So, but you could go through this list and you can take a good look at the players who were high school All Americans who actually made it to college and were All Americans who then made it to the NBA. But overall, the majority don't make it. They never live up to that hype. So, but anyway, I'll put the link to this in the description. So if you want to go check out all the high school All Americans who never made it and the ones who did, and then I'll put this link right here. So this is the college basketball American team. So this is 2012 All American team. All right, you had Doug McDermott, Thomas Robinson, so Jared Sullinger. Those were first team. So you look at this, and Jared Sullinger, Thomas Robinson, Doug McDermott, absolutely nothing. Isaiah Cannon, Marcus Denman, um, Tyler Zeller, and them. So you can see that just because you're a college All American doesn't mean you're going to go to the NBA. Doesn't mean you're going to make it. Look at Anthony Davis from Illinois. You looked at him. He's a good example of a kid that when he was growing up in high school, he started to grow taller and taller. He blew up. He blew up in high school because before that he was a short guy, but then he blew up to be tall. He still had the guard skills. So you looked at him and you were like, wow, Anthony Davis, a 6'11 player who can shoot threes, shoot a little jumper, has guard skills. Oh my gosh. We look at the potential, the upside of him. All we need to do is work on his skills, develop his three even more, develop his little handles even more. Wow, the potential is there. He's young. He just became this tall. He hasn't lived his whole life being this tall. So you look at him and you see the potential. You can start to see the ceiling of what could be. All right. So that's an example of that. But the link will be here. Come down here, and you could just click on any year you want to. Doesn't matter. And you look at the names, and some names have made it to the NBA. Some names will be stars in NBA, but some of these names, um, they won't be. And why is that? Once again, some people reach their pinnacle in high school. Some reach their pinnacle in college. Some reach their pinnacle in the NBA. And you're just born. You're just born like that. There's nothing you can do about that. So look at Steph Curry back in 2009. Steph Curry, he made the All American team, but scouts looked at him. They didn't see the potential. Remember, Steph Curry was not thought of highly when he came out. Remember, most people looked at Steph Curry and thought, all right, physically, he's at his peak. Skill wise, he is what he is. We don't see him doing much, and he wasn't thought of. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but that's what happened. But Steph Curry did something that they didn't expect. Steph Curry, who most people will look at and say his ceiling is already reached, he is what he is. Nothing special. But what they couldn't see is his desire to be better. Steph Curry worked his butt off dribbling and shooting. And his dad was one heck of a shooter. Del Curry, by the way. So it runs in the family. But he worked on his dribbling and shooting in such a way that it took him to another level. It's kind of like Dragon Ball Z, Goku. He did Goku type stuff. He went to go train and came back a Super Saiyan. Now this can happen to a player. Jimmy Butler is another good example. Jimmy Butler wasn't thought of, but he spent every summer in lockdown practicing basketball. So that's what he did. Um, so that's what could happen for Io. Io, we could look at and we could say, okay, most people agree he's hit his ceiling. He's not going to be physically, skill wise, he's not going to do anything else. He's at his peak. We project. But Io could do something like Steph Curry. He could work his butt off at his game, and if it's in him to be a Super Saiyan on the court, it can happen. But oh, Luther Head, Deron Williams, D Brown. Oh, 2005. I'm telling you. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. The referees cheated the Illini in the title game because they were Roy Williams, North Carolina fans. That is a fact, not an opinion. Don't believe me? Watch the Illinois versus North Carolina championship game, and you tell me what the referees were doing in that game. Go ahead. But anyway, that's done and over with. Nothing we can do about it now. But D Brown, Illini superstar, but he was at his peak in college. He didn't go. He couldn't make it pro, right? Luther Head reached his peak in college. All right. Deron Williams. Deron Williams. He didn't reach his peak in college because remember, Deron Williams, he wasn't eating the best and training the best either. Deron Williams, he started to take it serious, got in his best shape of his life, and became drafted, and even was pretty good in NBA for a short stint when he was still willing to work hard and train hard. So Deron Williams was somebody that showed you that, you know, his ceiling wasn't yet reached in college. So to sum all this up, it's just the way it is. Some people will be at their peak in high school, some in college, some in NBA. It's all about projecting, looking at an athlete and then projecting. Because so you may ask, what's the difference? How can you project one athlete to be at their peak in high school or college, and another one you could project their peak to be in the NBA? Well, if you've ever watched a LeBron James or um, Anthony Davis or Kevin Durant or um, just anyone that is a NBA superstar, if you ever watched them in high school, man, oh man, do they stand out. If you watch them in college, you look at them and you could just you see it. It's just something you feel it, you see it, you know it, that the best is yet to come with them. So that's all. Now that's not guaranteed because there have been plenty of athletes who you would project would be special, but it didn't work out. So it can it's never a guarantee, never is. But once again, these are college All Americans. Some names you'll recognize, some names you won't. Some never made it to the league, and it's just so 2021 we have this list, and we will see what happens um, to these players. We'll see if they make it to the NBA, if all of them will, if they pan out. That's to be determined. But yeah, so yeah, some people they reach their ceiling young, some reach their ceiling a little bit later. It's not an exact science, so you can't look at a player and you can project, but it's not a guarantee because there are people that have been drafted that physically you project greatness, but it didn't work out for them. So that can happen also. So it's not guaranteed, but anyway, that's what it means to reach your ceiling. Like I said, same thing in football and basketball, any sport I could pull up The football All American list in high school, and same situation. The majority of people on that list never did anything in college. I can pull up the football All American list, and same thing. Most of them don't make it to the league, and even Heisman list. I could pull up. Matter of fact, let me do it. We'll pull up the Heisman list. All right. All right. Mumbo jumbo. Okay, so let's go to where we can actually. All right, so we look at the list. All right, best player of college football. Oh, Barry Sanders. We remember him, don't we? Yes, we do. Barry Sanders, one of the greatest, right? Andre Ware did nothing. Ty Detmer did nothing. Desmond Howard did a little bit, but nothing like you would have thought. Gino did nothing. Charlie Ward did nothing. Salam did nothing. Eddie George, he had a little good little career. Warfel did nothing. Woodson, Hall of Fame career. Ricky Williams did just a little something. Ron Dane was nothing. Chris Winkie was nothing. Crouch was nothing. Carson Palmer, he was at best serviceable, honestly. Jason White didn't make it. Leinart didn't make it. Troy Smith didn't make it. Tim Tebow didn't make it. Sam Bradford didn't. Mark Ingram. I mean, he was able to play in the NFL, but I mean nothing special. Cam Newton had one good year. Griffin third didn't make it. He didn't. Johnny didn't make it. Winston, he's in the league, but all he does is throw interceptions. So I'm gonna say he's not gonna make it. Marcus, same thing. It doesn't look like he's gonna make it. Derrick Henry, he's on the perfect team with the perfect coach, so he's doing good right now. Lamar Jackson, perfect team, perfect coach, so he's doing it. Baker Mayfield, to be determined. Kyler Murray, to be determined. Joe Burrow, to be determined. And Devontae Smith, to be determined. All right. So we go through the list, and you can even go back even farther. And some of these people went on to make it in NFL, to be Hall of Famers, to be Pro Bowlers. Some of these people, most of these people, the majority did not. So this is the Heisman Trophy winner, supposedly the best players in college football. All right. Like I said, it just is what it is. Some people reach their pinnacle in high school, some reach the pinnacle in college, and some will reach the pinnacle in the pros. So, all right. I will link I will link this stuff, so if you want to take a look at it for yourself, um just if you wanted to go back to look throughout the history, see if you recognize any names, things like that. Then scroll down here, any All American team you want to look at. So, you know, if you want to have some fun with it. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. So, as far as IO is concerned, I sincerely hope IO shows all the scouts that his ceiling has not been reached, that he will break through their ceiling and reach his true ceiling. It is possible he could do it, but it's to be determined. All right. I personally know of people that reached their pinnacle of life in high school. After high school, it went all downhill. And I'm sure you guys know too. I'm sure you guys know. Think about it. I'm sure you guys know of high school players that were really something but never made it to college. And I know you guys remember some college players that were really something but never made it to the league. I know you guys all remember players like that. So, anyway, that's enough. So, all right, catch you next time.